Hello, I'm Sam and this is Dan, and as mentioned in the video before this, we're reviewing lots of different horror movies up until Halloween, and today it's the film
You're Next.
You're Next. Just came from the cinema, just saw it. Very mixed feelings about it. What do you want to say?
Well, first of all, we're doing 31 films,
Mm-hmm.
so one a day up until Halloween. Your Next seems to be the first one because we came straight from the cinema. Interesting film. I think I was going in and I was being told that it was a really good home invasion film.
Mm.
It was an alright home invasion film. It's not the best one. I don't know, it was very strange, wasn't it? The script wasn't that great.
The script was one of the worst parts of it, I have to say. It's
What was the one that you picked up on? Don't go out there. No.
No. There are some terrible lines in this film.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't... I thought to begin with maybe it can be forgiven because it'd be realistic, because people say stupid things when they're under pressure, but it was awful.
Yeah, the script wasn't good, which is a shame because
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know whether it was the script that was awful or whether it was the actors, because you didn't really notice the script was that bad when, say, Colin Hanks was discussing it, or I can't remember who the main brother was. We're spoiling, aren't we? We don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that's behind it all in the end, right at the end, he wasn't too bad, and the woman was really good. Who we said straight
Colin
away.
Hanks.
Yeah, you know the one that got in the arrow in the back? That was Tom Hanks' son.
You
Colin
sure?
Hanks. As in the evil guy in Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Colin Hanks.
More spoilers.
I'm pretty sure that's Colin Hanks. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure that's Colin Hanks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the woman who we said coming out of it, it's not really to do with the review, but she'd be a great Lara.
Yeah. The main character you learn quite early on who it is. Like, she's really cool actually. I really liked her.
She was probably her, and strangely enough, well, I'm guessing it's Colin Hanks. Don't hold me to that. Are the two only characters in the whole film that you kind of sort of like. There was that god awful sister. I wanted her to die.
She had an awful scream. This is going to be recurring.
Daddy! Sort of thing. It's like, oh god,
it was
just
ridiculous.
die.
You did want to just slap her about a bit.
And like the first death, the first main death of the family, the arrow to the head. Yeah. Everyone just acted. Was it just me? Or did everyone just act so fucking stupid? It was like screaming and running all over.
Yeah.
No one was really checking to see if he was okay. Or, well, obviously he had an arrow to the head, so he wasn't okay. But like, no one was checking like what had happened or anything. It was just literally running around the dining room screaming. Yeah. It was like, what are you doing?
They were all over it, even for someone who just had an arrow in the forehead. Like, they were overreacting.
Really
and it was
overreacting. And the fight beforehand was so overacted as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of the deaths were just Final Destination type deaths.
Yeah, it did get a little bit silly towards the end. I mean, I was excited going into the film because it's an 18, and it's actually really hard nowadays to get an 18 rated horror.
No, yeah, it really is.
It's quite tough.
In fact, looking back at it, why the hell was it an 18?
I don't really know. I guess it was...
The gore.
Well, no, I guess that bludgeoning scene was quite... That was quite... It only takes one sort of good, long, sustained, gory thing.
Which again was a ridiculous scene. Because instead of... This woman's being attacked, and instead of finding out who it is, she just bludgeons him to death.
For no instinct reason. Just took over.
Yeah, but she sort of just had him down.
Yeah.
And then was like, no, I'm going to keep on smashing his face in. You know.
I guess she was just a bit pissed off since as most of the other characters were dead by that point. Right.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
And the most ridiculous death was easily the stupid blender one. A blender would not do that.
I found myself laughing because it was just on... I've seen a lot of horror, more than just 31. But it was insane. Like, that was so... I've never seen anything like that.
It was just...
It was original, which...
I don't know whether it was a good thing, but like... There were quite a few scenes that I was laughing.
Yeah, I think... Yeah.
There was just
It's a response. It's better than being bored, isn't it?
I guess, but like... I was going in expecting to be like for instance, we will be reviewing it. The Conjuring.
Yeah.
We went into The Conjuring expecting scares and everything, and we came out and we've been scared.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I went in expecting some scares, and it was just, I jumped twice.
Yeah.
I'll get that out of the way, but it wasn't a scared jump. It was the usual something's jumped out.
Loud
jump.
noises.
Yeah.
You know. I expected it to be more like, and you haven't seen this yet, but I know someone watching this would have, and we're going to review it, probably. Strangers. I thought it was going to be like Strangers, and you'll see it, but
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be chilling, not kind of funny, kind of annoying, and I didn't think the film was really bad for a horror. It just wasn't. There was just a chunk wrong with it. It had potential.
It did, and like I said, I don't know whether I had a bit high expectation. I mean, you see the trailer, and the trailer looks decent. You see, like, if it is Colin Hanks, I repeat, you sort of get your high hopes because it's like, oh, he's pretty good. And then it was just, I don't know, it was just blur, wasn't it? I think it's one of those ones, the best way to describe it is, we like our horrors, we're kind of horror buffs, and I think it's a very good example is we were sitting next to someone who doesn't like horror, and he wasn't scared, he was laughing, and really you kind of, it's a horror that you take someone to go and see who doesn't like horror, and they want to feel like they've watched a horror film.
Yeah.
It wasn't a horror film. Really.
It was more bloody than anything, I think.
Yeah, it was more gore over substance.
But considering it was a lot, mainly it was stab wounds, bullets, and arrows. It was very sort of. It wasn't that messy. There weren't very many messy deaths, were there? It was very direct. There was a lot of blood, but it wasn't. Apart from a couple, it wasn't that gory. Really, when you think.
And like the deaths, like when they found the bodies and that, it was just comical. Like the mum with the machete in the face. It was like, what was up with that? Or when the guy used the axe as a golf swing straight into the face of the girl.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just, I don't know. There was no death that I could think of that it was like, yeah, that was a pretty scary death or anything like that. It was just, I don't know.
The ending, I do admit, the ending, I guess the main ending, I guess that halfway through.
Yeah, smart ass over it. Yeah.
I've seen too many of them. But the very end of the film, that shocked me. Until this one said it about 10 seconds beforehand, I had no idea.
Yeah, because basically what happened was someone led it across and went, oh yeah, it's for inheritance, which is what it was. And then, what was the other bit you said? You said something else that it was going to turn out to be. I can't remember what it was.
That one of them would be involved, I think. I don't know. You said, where's the other brother?
Yeah, because I turned around and said, well, we haven't seen the other brother in a while. And then the phone went because she killed the main culprit kind of thing. And then I leant across and went, I bet that's the other brother. And it turned out to be the other brother. I thought, when the only bit that kind of got me for the end was... no, the woman killed the main bad guy, and then all of a sudden she got shot by a policeman.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Rescue came, like we've already said spoilers anyway, so
yeah.
you know. But basically, they spend the entire film trying to get help, trying to get a police officer, and then the second he turns up, the only person to survive the movie gets shot because he panics or he thinks that it's her.
Well, she is kind of standing over a guy and stabbing him in the face.
You've got a room full of dead bodies and you're the one standing up. You're kind of going to get shot.
Yeah.
And then he gets killed as well. So it's really messed up.
Which, that was a stupid effect at the end. That's like 80s cartoon sort of thing. The blood going...
You said about about like effects and stuff like that. The use of music was weird in that film because there was this song, I don't know what the song was, but it kept being used and it was put on repeat at the beginning of the movie on the CD player, and then it just kept going round and around and around even though people from the house were dead. So it was kind of eerie because obviously it just kept going round and around. But then later on there was some music that was used that was very 80s but annoying. Like it was almost from Terminator or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was like... What, just because some action's going on that needs to be... Pretty much. And it was like, I don't understand this director. I don't know. It's like they're confused at what they wanted this to be.
Yeah, which is it's a shame because, like you said, it looked like it had potential. I remember we watched the trailer when we went to go see The Conjuring, and it was like, oh, that could be quite good. You know,
I was excited. We were going to see this at Fright Fest. If anyone's been.
Yeah, we didn't manage to make it at Fright Fest. Next year we will. But yeah. No,
it's a shame.
I don't know. Like you said, the pacing was way off, completely off. I mean, it went from nothing happening to lots happening to nothing happening to lots happening. It just was insane. And like it was a typical sort of film you would watch in the 80s. Like, for instance, when we watched Friday the 13th, and it's like there's tits there for no reason. No reason at all. It's just, oh yeah, gonna get our tits out.
No reason.
No reason.
Rubber.
Yeah.
Sure. I think this is a sort of horror film where it's like, it's fun, it's enjoyable to watch it once, but that's kind of it. I don't think it wasn't scary. It wasn't a very well made film, but it's kind of like, yeah, okay, it's all right. Like, I don't know if I'd recommend it or not. I mean, I think it's worth seeing, possibly, but
I wouldn't recommend it to people like us, but I would recommend it to people that are just trying to get into horror. Like, for instance, the Saw films are probably a good one. You know, and like Final Destination, I guess you could say that's a horror. That's a good one to kind of get into.
We'll see. We'll see going through these different films and stuff, but there's lots of different sort of almost genres of horror inside the genre. Like, there's lots of different types, obviously. So this is just the first one. I mean, what would you give it out of 10? To wrap it up.
Oh God, like a 3. A 3, and that's being generous.
I enjoyed. I think it was one of those films that I enjoyed not liking. It was like, oh, terrible. Oh, there we go. Oh, I bet this is going to happen. Oh, it happened. But yeah, I'd probably only give it like a 3 or a 4.
I mean, I think it's a good way to kick it off.
Yeah, it's the only way is up. And there's some good ones coming that we know.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing.
We know are good. So.
I mean, next one's a very good one. We're gonna be doing Poltergeist next.
Poltergeist.
Yeah. Ooh.
So do your research.
Yeah.
Watch the film because we're going to watch it just before we record.
And as you can tell through these, will be spoiling them. So don't start watching these before watching the films. You know, just watch the films and then watch this. And then if you wanted to have an opinion, there's a comment section in YouTube. You know. Just down below.
Down below.
Anything else you want to say it in the comment section.
Let us know. Maybe even if, I don't know, got any suggestions, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just let us know what you think.
We have a list, but, you know, if we like your suggestion, something could be bumped off the list, so make your suggestions.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Well, see you next time, guys, and happy horror film watching.
One down, 30 to go.
Bye.
Bye.